welcome back to Mondays here on Daily Diabetics. This week's theme is pros and cons of the insulin pump that each diabetic uses, or the reason they're on multiple daily injections, or the pros and cons behind how we manage our diabetes, whether that be with an insulin pump or MDI or a Dexcom or a Libre. Whatever we use, we're just going to talk about why we kind of picked that and the pros and cons of how we manage our diabetes. So with all that being said, let's just jump into the video and get started.
Okay, so excuse the messy background. I thought that I had everything behind me cleaned up, but apparently I didn't. If you look on my nightstand, there is toilet paper that I have used to blow my nose. So please ignore that. It's been a crazy day.
Okay, so the very first thing that I want to get out there, I think that most of you guys know this by now, but I am currently on the Tandem TSlim, and then I have the Dexcom G5 continuous glucose monitor system. So some pros and cons behind my insulin pump. We'll start with this because I got this before I got my CGM. So as I mentioned, I am on the TSlim from Tandem, and I absolutely love this insulin pump. I think it's phenomenal. So some of the pros behind this pump are that it is really small and sleek, and I would show you guys, but like my tubing is all sorts of tangled. There we go. It's really sleek and small and thin. I do have a case on here, but even with the case, it's really not that bulky. Another pro behind this pump, and I know most pumps do this now, but you can change the color of the pump because of the case. So I have a black case on here right now, but I know that they have a pink, a purple, a blue, and like an army green, and then you can also get cases from a company called, I think they're called Type 1 Tactical? Is that the company? I don't know. I don't own a clip by them, but I'm looking into getting one, so. But yes, that's another pro, is that you can change the case to change the color of the insulin pump. Another pro of this pump that some people do and some people don't is that you can actually draw the insulin out of the cartridge if you need to. That is where you fill the cartridge and you can actually draw insulin out of that. So after 3 days, like I'm supposed to change my site today, and I have 11 units in here. So I can stick the syringe in that little hole and draw the extra insulin out, so I'm not literally throwing away money, because insulin is expensive and I hate to waste it. So that is one thing that I love about this pump. As I drop it, thankfully I have a case. But that is one thing that I really like about this pump, as well as if your pump site fails and you don't have an extra site change, but you do have a syringe on you, you can draw insulin out of there and give yourself an injection, which is something I really like as well. Because I know me personally, I don't carry a vial of insulin around with me because I'm afraid it's gonna break, and I tend to keep my vial of insulin in the fridge when I'm not using it, so it lasts a little bit longer. Another pro behind this pump is that it is rechargeable. One of the reasons that this is a pro, it's actually also a con, but one reason it's a pro is because you're saving the environment by not using batteries that you have to throw away, and it creates less waste, which I think is really cool. And it's also super easy because, again, you don't have to carry around batteries with you, and I know personally I don't even carry the charger for the pump around because it doesn't, the battery lasts forever in this pump, which is another thing that I really like. But charging it is super easy. I charge it most of the time when I'm in the shower. So like if I shower tonight, I'm going to plug this up, and you can plug it into any USB ports, like your computer, your iPhone charger, a car charger. I've charged my pump in the car before, and while you're laying in bed, you can plug it in. And it's super easy. Just don't forget that if you're laying in bed and you're charging your pump, that you're charging your pump, because I've done that before and almost yanked my computer off my bed and onto the floor. Some of the cons behind this pump are that it is tubed, obviously. There is only one tubeless pump on the market, which is the Omnipod. It is tubed, which is a con for some people, but I personally don't mind it. Another con is that the battery, the rechargeable battery, can start to deteriorate. I had to get a replacement pump probably 6 months ago because the battery in this one was not holding charge at all. and it was constantly dying. Not like dying, but I would charge it and then like 2 days later it would be at like 20%, which it's not supposed to. But Tandem was super nice and they did send me a replacement for free. So that is really nice. Moving on to the Dexcom pros and cons. The first pro of the Dexcom is obviously seeing your blood sugar 24/7, which is really nice. So right here on my phone, you can just see my blood sugars for the past little while. Yes, I'm high. My blood sugars have been crazy lately. That is a plus that you can just look down at your phone or your watch. If you do have a smartwatch or an Apple Watch, you can just look down on your watch, and I actually have the Dexcom app watch face that I have on my Apple Watch. So that is really, really nice. Another thing is that you can get the Dexcom Clarity app, which is right there, and you can get different average blood sugars throughout, I think it's 7 days, 14, 30, and 90 days. So my blood sugar has been running really high lately, so please excuse that. But this is what it looks like. So it shows me that I have had more highs than in range blood sugars, and then it also shows me that I have a pattern of having nighttime highs, which is true. So then when you click on that, it just gives you some options on what you can do to prevent those or to keep them from happening and all of that sort of stuff. And then at the top you can click right here, and there are all of the different time options for when you can see like your blood sugar patterns, your like reports, your overviews, that kind of thing. Another pro of the Dexcom is less finger pokes, because with the Dexcom G5 you only have to calibrate twice a day, every 12 hours. With the Dexcom G6 you don't have to do any calibrations, which is absolutely amazing. And then I do know that if you do decide to do calibrations with the G6, you only have to do it once a day. Another plus to the Dexcom is obviously you can see your 24-hour range. Again, not my best. Another pro of the Dexcom is that if you are a child or the parent of a diabetic child, there is a share feature on the app to where you can share your blood sugars with your mom, dad, child, significant other, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, all of that cool stuff. I don't share my blood sugars with anyone just because no one that I know wants my blood sugars. Another pro of the Dexcom is that it does lower your A1C. So I've been on the Dexcom since March of 2018, and since then my A1C has lowered a point, or no, it's lowered 1.2 points. So it's definitely brought my A1C down, which is absolutely amazing. Some of the cons of a Dexcom is that if you're like me and you have a really controlling OCD personality, you will micromanage your diabetes more with the Dexcom. So when I first got the Dexcom, I would sit here and be like, oh my gosh, my blood sugar's rising. Oh my gosh, I need to get more insulin. And it was just all over the place. So if you're kind of similar in that aspect, you may be like me and kind of control it a little bit more, but that kind of goes away the longer you have a Dexcom. And then another con of the Dexcom is obviously you have two sites. So I currently have my Dexcom on my lower back on the left side, and then my pump site is on my stomach. So I do have two sites, but at this point I'm used to it. It's not that big of a deal. If you are considering a Dexcom, I definitely recommend it. The very last con that I'm going to talk about are obviously misreadings. So it could say that your blood sugar is like 300 when you're really like 100. I have had some weird readings like that, but Dexcom has always been super good at sending me replacement sites and sensors if I need them. But honestly, the pros outweigh the cons when it comes to a Dexcom. So if you're looking into getting one, I definitely recommend it to anyone out there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Some of this information is stuff that I wished going into getting both a pump and a Dexcom. With all that being said, I will see you guys next week for a brand new diabetes video. Bye!